Well, hello, everybody. Morning, afternoon, evening, night, as we join together on this 23rd day of May. Boy, what a difference a day makes in the aspect of yesterday being out and about at the zoo and the sun shining, though a little cool. And yet today, the dreariness, the rain and dampness right among us, along with clouds. But in either capacity, it actually leads right into our reading for today from Paul's letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 12. And so, Paul writes, I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, of abundance and need. A couple of years ago, Lisa and I had the opportunity to go with a number of others to go retrace the steps of Paul in Greece and in Turkey. It was an amazing trip, met a lot of great people. But one of the things about it was one day we were out on what was known as the Ignatian Road. And we got to see kind of some of the remnants of what a city used to be like. But we also got the chance to see the actual prison cell where they attributed where the Apostle Paul was held. And we saw a number of things. It wasn't like our penitentiaries that may be a lot nicer than maybe what had been in the past. But it was just a little kind of wall everywhere, with the exception of just a little bit of portion for an air pocket. But we hear Paul speaking from prison, bent and frail. We hear Paul shackled and chained by a Roman guard. We hear as well the definition of who Paul claims and says he is, the apostle of God. I don't know about that though, right? I mean, a man who's dead broke and has no family, no property, he's nearsighted in his understanding, he's worn out, and yet Paul's voice in Philippians, in most of the entire New Testament, are not words of a man who is mastered by his own life, but mastered by the life of Christ, the confession of the one who has kept him through. And believe me, Paul's life reads to some extent like an action movie. I mean, seriously, prison cells, missionary trips, shipwrecks, jail cells, all of these, and yet here's his response. That though he was a Christian killer, now a church leader, he introduces himself to some extent as the worst sinner in history. Paul continued to know who he was in the life of Christ. He understood full well that what a wretched man am I, who will save me from this body of death? He knew only heaven could save him. But in the midst of all of this, Paul goes ahead and speaks about the earthly circumstances that he has, that like the waves, they go ahead and they rise and fall. And some moments and some days, some years even, are full of blessing, and others are made into ones of very much need and little. The great thing about Paul is that we hear in this verse what, as Christians, we learn as true contentment. Not found in positive thinking or self-disciplined. It is steady in the mercy of Christ. He learns the secret of this. And for us, we can learn much because, there are moments in time, obviously, for us where success, we feel, is what we expect life to be. And yet when life is thin and lean, we are tempted to think that God has abandoned us. And yet when we have plentiful and way too much, we also think that, it's in the gifts we have or in our own version and not in the one who gives them. It is through Christ alone that we have anything at all. Whether it be blessing or hardship, difficulties or great abundance, you belong to Jesus. And in the ebbs and flows of life and the shifting sands, we have a firm foundation who declares our future secure, who by his forgiveness brings to us his great treasure in the gift of eternal life. And so I bring this verse to us today for one simple fact. Because though Paul states, I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound, and I know how to have much and nothing, then we hear the next verse, and we are ready to hear it. You know it probably quite well. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's not a verse that simply we hear out on the ball field as I am strengthened, but it is one that whether we have much or little, whether we have great blessing or hardship, much like the circumstances kind of change and shift, we have a sure, constant foundation in the unchanging promises of Christ. Yes, though these things may come, you have a rock, and you can do all things through Christ. Little, much, everything in between. Have a great day, everybody. We'll come back here on Monday. God be with you all. Bye now.